Kenya. An old country custom. As soon as a new child can walk, the mother sends him to her husband, ready now to receive him again. Ready for a fresh conception, a further pregnancy. How to delay that walk is the challenge. How to convince the wife that it is in her own interest to do so. The task is to change attitudes as old and as deeply rooted as tribal origins. Men must feel it's no longer necessary to have many children to prove that they are men. This cannot be done from an office in the city. You must go out there, amongst them, yourself. Direct face-to-face contact and communication cost no more than your own presence, patience, and perseverance. Traditional ways offer you an immediately available and acceptable channel of communication. Planning for better family living is the essence of the message you have to get across. Here, this means, first of all, a more healthy spacing of children. The lessons you have to teach them are in health, hygiene, nutrition, none of which can be shown to be possible with large families. How can low-cost materials help you in this situation? Farmers know that if you plant seedlings too close together, there's not enough room for them to grow properly. They have to be spread out. Then they will grow tall and strong. If not, they will sicken and die. You can show that the same is true of families. Everyone can understand a picture, particularly if it is seen in relation to his own experience and environment. But how can you make a poster if you yourself cannot draw? Not so very difficult. First, transparent tracing paper laid over the original. On the tracing paper, draw the outline that shows through. Turn it over. With a lead pencil, heavily shade this outline on the reverse. Turn it over again onto a sheet of blank paper. Go over the outline again. On the new heavy paper will be a faint impression, the right way round, made through from the shading. Go over this again heavily. Shade and colour. And there it is. As good, if not better, than the original. Lettering, if you cannot print. No problem. A stencil set with which you paint the letters through, one after the other. Not everyone can read words, but with economic and social development, many children can do so now. Too many children in the land means that there cannot be enough good schools for a proper education and future for them. How can you be sure you do not have another baby too soon? By getting family planning help. India, with a series of pictures, flashcards, You can tell the whole story in sequence, and you can adapt the commentary to the pictures for the particular audience you've brought together in their own language and idiom. If one man has 4 sons and each son in turn has 4 more sons, just see how much less food and land there is then left for each. With just 2 children, there can be a good home, plenty of food, good schooling, and a prosperous future. Always relate what you show, what you say, how you show it, how you say it, to the actual lives, environment, experience of your audience. Flannel graphs, cut-out pictures stuck onto flannel, are another way of doing this with pictures you can make yourself. A planned family, a good home. An unplanned family, a poor, unhappy home. Like everything we're talking about, flannel graphs can be made from simple, low-cost materials, easily obtainable. First of all, a blanket. Just an ordinary blanket. Draw pictures of well-known objects, like the food we eat but cannot afford if we have too many children. Then glue them to sandpaper on their backs. When dry, cut them out. The rough sandpaper on the other side holds them up on the blanket. You can build up an entire story in pictures in this way, changing it as you talk. In India, flannel graphs are widely used in family planning communication.
उसके पास 8 बीघा जमीन है और एक अच्छा सा मकान है और इसके पास इसकी वाइफ जो है पत्नी है बहुत खूबसूरत है उसका नाम चंदा है और बिरजू जो है वो अपनी पत्नी के ऊपर बहुत घमंड करता है उसके पास 8 बीघा जमीन है और एक अच्छा सा मकान है वो बहुत खुशी से अपना जीवन बिता रहा है।
Just 2 children, a happy family.
एक साल के बाद उसकी एक लड़का हुआ जो कि
Too many, poverty and unhappiness.
गांव की औरतें आई और खूब उन्होंने सोहर ओहर गाए अपने गाने बजाने किए खूब खुशियां मनाई और दावतें हुई।
The solution? Go to the clinic and seek family planning guidance and advice.
और इसी तरह से हर साल उसको बच्चे पैदा होते रहे 5 साल के अंदर 5 बच्चे पैदा हो गए।
Flip books are another way of teaching with pictures shown in sequence. And you don't have to be an expert to speak the commentary to the pictures. It's already there for you, printed on their backs. Another way of making pictures with the silk screen process. Cut out a stencil of the picture you want to copy. Iron it onto a piece of silk stretched over a frame. A piece of paper placed on a board beneath it. Ink. Rolled and squeezed all the way down. Then just lift off. Pictures for your posters are already there, ready-made, if you look for them and cut them out from magazines. And most of us can get hold of a camera. So we can produce pictures ourselves, which can then become an effective part of the poster message. Masks and models. In use to tell stories for thousands of years. You start with a mixture of paper and flour and water, out of which you make a paste. Then a ball of paper tied with string around the top of a hollow tube or stick. Cover the paper ball little by little with the paste. Model it into a face and features. When dry, polish smooth and paint. With yarn, hemp or horsehair, make a little wig and glue it on their heads. Slipped on your hand, your fingers in their arms, and in that hollow tube in the center of their heads, puppets soon take on an identity and personality all their own. Successful family planning communication requires a special unit. A unit to plan and coordinate the work involved in the use of visual aids in the field. And this includes the costing, budgeting and organization of low-cost media, to arrange displays and exhibitions. But all the aids in the world are only aids, never substitutes for human contact. The lowest cost of all, the most effective channel of communication, comes face to face.
No,